Team 11 of 52 teams of 8 rival wisdoms. Help make America wiser and kinder with antique quotes that have passed the test of time to make humanity great with words of wisdom to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. Give your kids a competitive edge with faster reading skills with timed practice videos, alpha cipher puzzles to learn letters, words and phrases, and repetitive easy math to help us all grow wiser and kinder. Team quote 11.1. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Abraham Lincoln, 1806 to 1865. Let me provide some context about this famous quote from Abraham Lincoln. This quote comes from a speech Lincoln delivered on June 16, 1858, in Springfield, Illinois, after accepting the Illinois Republican Party's nomination for the U.S. Senate. The full speech is often referred to as the House Divided speech, and it was a powerful commentary on the growing tensions between the North and South over the issue of slavery. Lincoln was arguing that the United States could not continue to exist with such fundamental disagreements about slavery. The metaphor of a house divided suggests that a nation deeply split by conflicting ideologies cannot survive intact. He believed that the country would eventually have to resolve the slavery issue, becoming either entirely free or entirely slaveholding. The quote is biblically inspired, originally from a passage in the Gospels where Jesus speaks about internal division. Lincoln brilliantly adapted this metaphor to the political context of pre-Civil War America, highlighting the unsustainability of the nation's internal conflicts. Historically, this speech was prescient. Just a few years later, in 1861, the American Civil War began, a conflict that would ultimately resolve many of the divisions Lincoln spoke about, though at an enormous human cost. Team quote 11.2. There are times when the greatest change needed is my viewpoint. Denis Diderot, 1713 to 1784. Denis Diderot was a prominent French philosopher, art critic, and writer during the Enlightenment era. This quote reflects a profound insight into personal growth and self-reflection that was characteristic of Enlightenment thinking. Diderot was a key intellectual figure of his time, best known for co-founding the Encyclopedia, a massive collaborative project that aimed to gather and spread knowledge across various fields. This work was revolutionary for its time, challenging existing social and religious orthodoxies by promoting rational and critical thinking. The quote emphasizes the importance of personal perspective and self-awareness. It suggests that often, the most significant transformation doesn't come from changing external circumstances, but from shifting our own understanding, perceptions, and way of thinking. This idea aligns closely with Enlightenment ideals of individual reasoning, self-improvement, and intellectual flexibility. In practical terms, the quote encourages self-reflection, openness to new ideas, the willingness to challenge one's own assumptions, personal growth through changing one's mental framework. Diderot himself was known for his intellectual curiosity and ability to challenge prevailing thoughts of his time. This quote encapsulates his belief in the power of individual perspective and the potential for personal transformation through critical thinking. Would you like to explore more about Diderot, the Enlightenment, or the philosophical context of this quote? Team quote 11.3. Resolve, and thou art free. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, 1807 to 1882. This quote by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, a renowned American poet of the 19th century, is a powerful statement about personal determination and freedom. Longfellow, known for his lyrical poetry that often explored themes of hope, perseverance, and the human spirit, captures a profound truth in just 5 words. The quote suggests that true liberation comes from making a firm decision and committing to it. Resolve here means a strong, unwavering determination or purpose. The beauty of this quote lies in its simplicity and universal application. It implies that many of the barriers we face are internal, created by our own hesitation, doubt, or indecision. By making a resolute choice and standing firmly behind it, we can free ourselves from self-imposed limitations, fear of failure, uncertainty, external expectations. This philosophy aligns well with Longfellow's broader literary works, which often celebrated human potential and the power of individual will. Poems like A Psalm of Life similarly encourage readers to take control of their destiny and live with purpose. The quote can be interpreted both personally and metaphorically. It speaks to inner psychological freedom as much as to external circumstances. By resolving, truly deciding, and committing, one can break free from mental constraints, overcome obstacles, and chart a new course. Team Quote 11.4. Freedom is a system based on courage. Charles Péguy, 1873–1914. Charles Péguy was a French poet, essayist, and editor who was an important intellectual figure in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This quote reflects his deep philosophical thinking about the nature of freedom and human courage. Péguy was known for his passionate writings that often explored complex themes of social justice, individual responsibility, and moral courage. This quote suggests that freedom is not merely a passive state or a right to be claimed, but an active, dynamic system that requires constant moral effort and personal bravery. The profound insight here is that freedom is not simply given, but continuously earned and maintained through courageous action. It implies that freedom demands personal risk and commitment. Maintaining liberty requires moral strength. Individuals must be willing to stand up for their principles. Freedom is a collective and individual responsibility. Péguy lived during a tumultuous time in French history, experiencing the tensions leading up to World War I. His perspective was shaped by the social and political challenges of his era, which likely informed his understanding of freedom as something that must be actively defended. The quote challenges us to see freedom not as a static condition, but as a living, breathing system that depends on the courage of individuals to protect, define, and expand it. It suggests that true freedom is not comfortable or easy, but requires constant moral vigilance and the willingness to take principled stands. Team Quote 11.5. Suspicion is the cancer of friendship. Petrarch, 1304–1374. Francesco Petrarca, commonly known as Petrarch, was an Italian scholar, poet, and one of the earliest humanists of the Renaissance period. This quote offers a profound insight into human relationships and the destructive nature of doubt and mistrust. Petrarch was a pivotal figure in the development of Renaissance thought, known for his poetry, scholarly works, and philosophical writings. This particular quote speaks to the delicate nature of human connections and how suspicion can erode the foundations of trust and friendship. The metaphor is particularly powerful. By comparing suspicion to cancer, Petrarch suggests that suspicion is a destructive force that grows insidiously. It can quietly undermine and eventually destroy relationships. Unlike an acute problem, suspicion spreads slowly and silently. Trust, once damaged by suspicion, is difficult to rebuild. In the context of Petrarch's time, during the early Renaissance, interpersonal relationships were crucial in both personal and professional spheres. His understanding of human psychology was ahead of his time, recognizing how internal doubts and unfounded suspicions can poison even the strongest bonds. The quote is a timeless reminder of the importance of trust, open communication, and giving others the benefit of the doubt. It suggests that friendships require nurturing, faith, and a willingness to believe in the goodwill of others. Team Quote 11.6. Man is only great when he acts from passion. Benjamin Disraeli, 1804–1881. Benjamin Disraeli was a prominent British statesman who served twice as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during the Victorian era, and was also a notable novelist and literary figure. This quote reflects his nuanced understanding of human motivation and potential. Disraeli, known for his charismatic and passionate approach to politics, believed that true greatness emerges not from calculation or cold logic, but from deep emotional commitment. The quote suggests that passion is the driving force behind exceptional human achievement. Emotional investment transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary ones. Rational thinking alone is insufficient for truly remarkable accomplishments. Genuine passion infuses actions with meaning, depth, and transformative power. As a politician, Disraeli was a master of passionate rhetoric and emotional appeal. He understood that inspiring movements, whether in politics, art, or personal endeavors, are fueled by deep emotional conviction rather than mere intellectual reasoning. The quote challenges the notion that greatness comes from detached, purely rational decision-making. Instead, it proposes that our most significant moments arise when we are fully emotionally engaged, when our actions stem from deeply held beliefs, hopes, and convictions. This perspective aligns with Romantic-era thinking, which emphasized emotion, individualism, and the power of personal feeling as essential to human experience and achievement. Team quote 11.7. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. Thomas More, 1779 to 1852. Thomas More was an Irish poet, singer, songwriter, and entertainer who was quite popular during the early 19th century. This quote offers a profound and somewhat melancholic reflection on the transient nature of fame and the enduring quality of anonymity. The quote suggests a stark contrast between momentary recognition and the vast, unnoticed expanse of time. It implies that fame is temporary and quickly fades. Most individuals will ultimately be forgotten. The vast majority of human lives pass without significant recognition. The scale of human existence dwarfs individual achievements. More, who was known for his poetry and cultural contributions, understood the ephemeral nature of public acclaim. The quote reflects a philosophical perspective that transcends personal ego, acknowledging the ultimate insignificance of individual glory in the grand sweep of time. Glory here suggests public recognition, achievement, or fame, something bright but brief. Obscurity represents the default state of most human existence, unknown, unrecorded, and ultimately unremarkable in the broader context of history. This perspective is both humbling and potentially liberating. It suggests that one should not be overly concerned with achieving lasting fame, but instead focus on personal integrity, meaningful actions, and living authentically. Team quote 11.8. Don't count your years, make your years count. George Meredith, 1828 to 1909. George Meredith was an English novelist and poet of the Victorian era, known for his innovative and psychologically insightful writing. This quote embodies a powerful philosophy of active, purposeful living. The quote is a clever play on words that carries a profound message about life's quality over its quantity. It suggests life should be measured by experiences, not by time passed. Personal growth and achievement matter more than age. Every year should be lived with intention and meaning. The value of life is determined by what you do, not how long you live. Meredith's perspective challenges the common tendency to become preoccupied with aging or to view life as a passive progression of years. Instead, he encourages an active, engaged approach to living, where each year is an opportunity for personal development, meaningful experiences, pursuing passions, making a difference. The quote is a call to action, urging individuals to be intentional about their lives. It suggests that true fulfillment comes not from simply existing, but from actively creating a life of purpose and significance. This philosophy aligns with Meredith's literary work, which often explored complex human motivations and the potential for personal growth and transformation. Free easy extra advantage math, spelling, and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free easy math wisdom workbooks with octa repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free easy alpha cipher coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this cipher quote of encouragement using either our Learning to Spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, Practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms that have passed the test of time to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equality teas are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like pretty witty baby onesies and baby teas that you and others will see and read multiple times a day. The same is true with pretty witty kids, but they'll also share these wisdoms with anyone that can read at daycare or school. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think teas I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom that have passed the test of time. Our social equality teas help make us all wiser and kinder with blatantly subliminal messages promoting a more fair and equal opportunity society for all. And don't forget our giftwisdoms.com for birthdays and holidays that makes it easy to share the wisdom with clothing, coffee mugs, and magnets. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom that have passed the test of time to make us all wiser and kinder. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. Join the 52 of 8 today.